Hello, you're fine, Miss Warren here. I hope you are all well. Welcome to your Friday lesson for guided reading. Now today we're going to be looking at the same text we looked at yesterday within Cosmic to answer some vocabulary questions for your chilly challenges today. Let's get into it.
Okay, welcome to your final session for the week where we're going to be exploring the meaning of words in context. We're going to be using our vocabulary skills and we're going to be looking at some chilly challenges as well. Okay, so let's have a look at this starter task. Find antonyms for these words. So an antonym is a word that is the opposite meaning to another. So for example, the opposite to bad is good and the opposite to good is bad. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause video here. So what I want you to do is I want you to write these words down and then I want you to find antonyms for these words. Pause video here. It's now your turn and I want you to find antonyms for these words. Okay, welcome back. Hope you found some antonyms for these words and I can't wait to see what you send to the Year 5 email to do with this. Okay, so now I'm going to reread the piece of text we looked at yesterday. And when I read, I want you to use your fingers to follow along with the text. I was still smiling after the play was over and everyone had finished clapping. Lisa said I was the friendliest looking, big friendly giant she'd ever seen. Mum said, "I love it. You looked so happy up there." I waited till we were getting in the car and then I showed Dad the text. China, the biggest thrill ride in the history of the world. Your chance to become the greatest dad ever. I got that crispy New World feeling just reading it. I expected Dad to jump up and down with excitement and say, "Get the sun cream, Liam!" Inexplicably, he didn't. He shook his head and said, "No one really wins those things." "Well, someone must win them, otherwise they wouldn't be allowed to advertise them. Of course someone wins them. Come on, it's just a phone call." "Yes, a long, long phone call. This is just a trick to get you to spend loads of money calling a premium rate phone number. And when you do, there's nothing at the other end except a voice saying, 'Please hold,' and playing some nice classical music, and they collect the money for the call. But you've been specially selected." "Yeah, me and 10 million others." He deleted the message. We walked home past a shopping centre. I looked up, but you couldn't see any stars. I remember thinking, I'll probably never get out of Bootle as long as I live. It's funny to think I am now at this moment further away from Bootle than any other living human. That night, Dad wanted us all to play Monopoly in the new kitchen. Monopoly! Has anyone ever played Monopoly to the end? Don't most people just sort of slip into a kind of boredom coma after a few goes and wake up 6 months later with a handful of warm hotels? If it had been Risk or Cluedo, that would have been something. But Monopoly! "Sit down," he said. "It'll be nice. All of us together. We haven't played a game in ages." I said, "Monopoly is not a game." "Well, here's the dice and here's the board. How is that not a game?" "It's not a game because nothing is happening. In Monopoly, you can ask someone else to take your go while you go to the toilet, and it won't make any difference. Can you imagine asking someone else to take your go in chess, or Risk, or football? I'll tell you what Monopoly is. Monopoly is my life, going round and round the same streets over and over again with not enough money." "So," said Dad, "you don't want to play then?" "No, I don't." I got up. I was going to go and play a few hours of Warcraft. "It's always an anticlimax," said Mum, "when you're in a play or something and then it ends." "You don't want to play a little game of Monopoly with your real live Mum and Dad," said Dad, "but you'll play all night with your invisible Warcraft friends." "I haven't got any real life friends left, have I?" "Maybe you would have if you weren't always coaxing them into illegal situations involving high-powered sports cars." "Oh, now," said Mum, "he isn't always doing that. He only did it once. And isn't once enough?" They were still discussing this when I logged into Azeroth and summoned my guild, the Wonderless Warriors. Okay, let's have a read of these tricky words again. It's going to be my turn and then your turn. Repeat them after me. Inexplicably. Premium. Coaxing. Anticlimax. Summoned. Fantastic. And now what is the root word in the word greatest? Can you pause the video here and figure out what the root word is? That's right, the root word is great, and we have the suffix est, which is est, which is to emphasise how amazing something is. And what is the spelling rule you can see in the word couldn't? Pause the video here and have a think for me. Okay, hope you found the spelling rule, and it is the contraction between the N and the T, taking off the O, so it's couldn't, not could not. Okay, I'm not going to say, shout, whisper, clap these words, but I'm going to say it. I want you to repeat after me, and then I'm going to show you the definitions like I said I would do yesterday, and I've got them in sentences as well. So I'm going to say it. inexplicably, premium, anticlimax, coaxing, and summoned. Like I said yesterday, without knowing the meanings of these words, I wouldn't know then how to use them in a sentence. So I first have to find each of them. So inexplicably is something that can't be explained. Premium is an increased amount added to an ordinary price or charge, something to show quality sometimes. Anticlimax is a disappointing end or series of events. Coaxing is to gently persuade, and someone is to demand someone's presence at that moment. So now I know what they mean, I can now use them in a sentence. So I've got many documents had inexplicably disappeared, so without any explanation. The rate of premium fruit is much more expensive. That shows that it is an added cost because of the quality. The film was a massive anticlimax, as it wasn't very interesting, saying that it wasn't very good. I began coaxing my dog with treats to get him inside, gently persuading. I do that very often with my dog, I have to be honest. And the child was summoned to the head teacher's office to demand someone's presence. So hopefully you've written some amazing sentences down as well. And now let's move on to have a look at a question. Okay, let's have a look at this question. What does the phrase in red mean in this context? So let's have a look at the text that's been pulled out. But you've been specially selected. Yeah, me and 10 million others. So from what I can remember, the but you've been specially selected is what Liam is saying. And yeah, me and 10 million others is what Dad is saying. So I wonder if you can pause the video here and think about what me and 10 million others might mean in this context. So pause the video here for me and have a think. Okay, welcome back. Hope you've had some time to think about that question for me. And now here's my answer. So I wrote, it means that he is not the only one to be specially selected, that many more have been chosen too. Again, you can see that I've taken a quote from the text, which is specially selected, because Liam thinks he's been specifically chosen for something, whereas Dad doesn't believe him, so he thinks that many more have been chosen too, and that actually he isn't a special at all. So I wonder if you thought the same as me. So each of the chili challenges is going to be on a different page. When you get to a chili challenge that you're going to do, pause the video there and do the chili challenge. And then if you're going to move on, then you can go to the next page, which will have the next chili challenge on with all the questions as well. Okay, so for chili 1, I want you to find 2 new words from yesterday and complete the sections on the grid for both of these words. So I've given you an example of how to use it. So I've got the word blazing in the middle, and then I've given a picture. So you can either use the word and depict around the word what it is, or just do a picture of what the word could be. I've got a synonym for blazing, which is obviously a word that means the same as, and an antonym, which is the opposite. Then I've got a definition, which I found online, and then I've used the word in a sentence. So what we need to do now is pause the video here and complete the sections on the grid. If you don't have any new words that you've picked up from the text and you have the words that we've used, which are the tricky words, then you can use those words instead. The next chili is chili 2. I want you to answer the following questions about the text. So can you think of a synonym and an antonym for these words? Now a synonym is a word that means the same as, and antonym is the opposite meaning. And obviously the words are anticlimax and coaxing, which are 2 of the tricky words in our list. And the second one is find a phrase that means the same as, persuading someone to do something that is a crime in this part of the text. And then there's the part of the text to use. So pause the video here and write down those questions and answer them for me as well. And for chili 3, again, I want you to answer the following questions about the text. The first question, why are these parts of the text in capital letters? Obviously, I've highlighted those parts in yellow. The second question is, how does this passage of the text make you feel? Use the text to justify your reasoning. And again, pause the video here and answer those questions for me. I can't wait to see the work you send into the Year 5 email.
Okay, so we're going to carry reading Cosmic now, and we're on a new chapter called You'll Like It When You Get There. The first person I thought of to be my daughter was Florida. After all, she already had extensive Pretend to be Liam's daughter experience and had gained lots of Pretend to be Liam's daughter's skills. On the other hand, her main Pretend to be Liam's daughter experience was nearly putting her in incredible danger during the whole Porsche incident, so I knew I'd probably need to coax her slightly. When I tried talking to her in school, she either totally blanked me, but then she always did blank me in school, or hissed at me like an angry cobra. When I tried phoning her, calls from my number were barred. When I tried emailing and MSNing her, messages bounced back. I tried sitting by the Strandwater feature. She never came by. I think I saw her once, but she saw me first and ducked inside the Leaning Tower of Pizza. That's okay. If you need new equipment for a quest, you have to work for it. You have to dig for gold or grind away, fighting trolls and looting their possessions. You have to keep going until you've got what you need. The one place where Florida had to talk to me was Little Stars. That Saturday, Lisa made us get into pairs, boy and a girl, and asked her to be father and daughter. Florida tried to avoid me, but I came up behind her and said, "You could be Bryce Dallas Howard, star of Spider-Man 3, and I'll be your father, Ron Howard, director of Apollo 13 and the Da Vinci Code." Which one was she in Spider-Man 3? She's the girl in Dr. Connor's quantum mechanics class who falls in love with him, and later on he saves her from a falling crane. That's in the film. Originally, she went to the same school as him, and she was his first love, and she dies when Green Goblin throws her off the bridge, but that was just in the comics. I remember she was blonde, and her dad is famous too. She didn't know many celebrity father-daughter combinations, and she didn't want to let this one go. Lisa was saying, "And Daddy's got his daughter a treat. It's up to you what the treat is, but the daughter really likes it. I want to see happy acting and surprise acting, and also two people who really know each other type of acting. And for the boys, some older person acting, but do not overdo it. No old man acting. You don't have to be old to be a dad." As soon as we started working on it, Florida said, "Okay, so you're my famous film director dad, and the surprise is a part in your new film. I'm the dad. It's up to me what your surprise is." Straight away she was suspicious. "What is it then?" "You'll see." When it was our turn, it went like this. Florida: "Hi Dad, how are things at the film set today?" Me: "Pretty neat I guess, Bryce. I have a present for you." Florida: "Oh Dad, you shouldn't have. Wait, I know what it is. A part in your new film." Me: "No." Florida: "But you said..." Me: "Well, it's not that. It's nicer than that." Florida: "Remember when I earned lots of money by being in Spider-Man 3, so I have got practically everything a girl could want." Me: "It's a holiday to a theme park, just the two of us." Florida looks puzzled. Me: "It's a brand new theme park. One of the rides is going to be the best ride in the world, and we've got an invitation." Adding in a whisper, "This is real, honest, I've won a competition." An extremely long pause. After a while, Lisa said, "Is that it?" Florida stops looking puzzled and looks annoyed. "Dad, I can't go." Me: "Yes, you can. It'll be great. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Pack your bags and come with me. Don't miss out." Florida: "I've got so much acting to do, so many commitments, I can't go. You must know that." Me: "But this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's the very first day the theme park is open. You're going to be the first person on all the rides. Really?" Florida: "No." Me: "You'll like it when you get there." Florida: "No, I won't." Me: "Yes, you will. Just you and me, together, father and daughter, like old times." Florida: "Together?" Me: "Yeah, me and you, father and daughter. What do you think? We never spend any time together now because you're always acting and I'm always directing films." Florida: "Well, you should have said so earlier. I can't go now." Me: "Why not?" Another long pause. Lisa said, "Go on, Florida. Tell us why not." Florida: "Because I don't want to. I already said that. Can't you get that into your thick head?" Me: "I was only trying to give you something nice. I thought you'd like to go on holiday with your dad." Florida: "Well, I wouldn't, because I'm too busy doing other things." Lisa said the drama was very real and also very moving. I felt very sorry for the dad, who obviously wanted to spend more time with his daughter, but she was too busy to make time for him. And Liam, you were so dad-like. You were really like a real dad, like my own dad, in fact. He was always saying I'd like it when I got there, and I'm sorry." She had to stop talking because she was crying. In the end, she did this huge sniff, looked at Florida and said, "And Florida, you were very good too. You were... oh." And then she ran out of the room. While she ran out, I tried quickly to tempt Florida with this trip. First in, first go on all the rides, exclusive entry, no queues, free food. Why? Why did they invite you? It was a prize. I was specially selected. And why would you want me to come? Well, the prize is for a father and a child. So? For a second she didn't seem to get it. Then it hit her. Oh, no, 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 no. Why not? We used to do it all the time. Exactly, we used to do it all the time. Then we nearly had a car crash. We did not nearly have a car crash. We sat in the car and then my dad turned up. And what if your dad hadn't turned up? No, 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 no. She was still saying no when the lesson was over, and we were hurrying through the Strand. I said, "Hey, do you want to go to Booze and News and look at the magazines like we used to?" "No, I've got to pick my little brother up from the childminders." "I didn't know you had a little brother." "You don't know a lot of things." And that is everything for today's guided reading lesson. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you on Monday for your next guided reading lesson. Stay safe everyone, have a lovely weekend.